Christian, very controversial result with most of the members of the media agreeing, as well as Chatri Sinjachong agreeing that you should have won. How are you feeling right now?
Well, Johnny, right now, this decision is not settling with me. And if I had lost the fight, I would keep my mouth shut. But I did not lose the fight. We look at one championship's judging criteria, okay? The number one most important thing in the fight is a near finish. I took my opponent down. I had his back. I had a rear naked choke on him. I came close to finishing him. I had multiple submission attempts that I put on him. I dropped him. I rocked him multiple times. And in the fifth round, I knocked him out on his feet. He almost dropped to the mat and he didn't know where he was. Many of his shots that the judges, commentators thought landed, I blocked. If you look at our two faces, the second most important criteria is damage. You look at our two faces, who landed more strikes, who landed the more effective strikes, okay? You look at the next few categories. I took him down. I controlled the pace of the fight. I hurt him. I held him against the cage and I outstruck him. So my question to the judges and my question to the media, my question to the fans is, how was this fight judged? I'm not one to complain, but as a champion, I'll stand firm on my decision that I did not lose this fight. I'm still a champion, and this decision needs to be overturned, plain and simple.
First question goes to Nick Atkin of South China Morning Post MMA.
Hey, Christian. Yeah, I do agree with you. I think you won the fight. I know that's not much consolation right now, but we do have a big 10th anniversary card coming up in December. Would you like an immediate rematch?
Well, the thing is, I do want to fight Ok Rae Yoon again, but it's not going to be me fighting Ok Rae Yoon for his belt. I think that the fight needs to be overturned. I think that I won that fight. So Ok Rae Yoon can have a rematch, but I'm still the champion.
He's been very respectful, and you made that clear that you respected him. Have you spoken to him since the fight? Do you have any bad feelings towards him as a person in that regard? I mean, he looked shocked when his hand was raised, I think.
No, so the thing is, I want to make it really clear. I have absolutely nothing against Ok Rae Yoon. I'm pissed off with the decision, but that's not Ok Rae Yoon's fault. He went in there, he fought a good fight, he gave it his all. But we look at the facts, he didn't win that fight, and he's not the champion. I am. Okay, so that's nothing. I'm not taking anything away from Ok Rae Yoon. He's a great fighter, he was a great opponent. My main thing is, what fight were the judges scoring?
Have you spoken to Chatri yet? Yeah, like Johnny said, Chatri just came in and Chatri said he thinks you won. So, I mean, that's probably positive. Have you had a conversation with him yet?
I didn't get to sit down and talk with Chatri, but, Chatri's fair with his decisions. I asked him straight. I said, what did you think of that fight? He said it was bullshit. I didn't lose that fight. I know it myself. So we're going to bring it to the board and we're going to get this fight overturned. I'm still the champion.
The next question will go to Jack Gottsell of Top Off Sports.
Christian, I completely agree with your breakdown of how that fight should have been scored, and I also thought you won. But is there anything you wish you had done differently, and did you learn anything in this fight versus Oak?
Well, I learned many things in this fight, and Oak was a very tough competitor. Of course, my goal is always to finish the opponent in front of me. But, this decision is really not sitting well with me because, the fight is a fight. As a champion, I believe that I did everything I needed to do to get my hand raised that night. And, it's really just simple. We take every single one of one championship's judging criteria, put it down, watch the fight. And, to me, it's clear as day. I don't understand what fight those three judges were scoring. And I'm not going to I'm not going to let this pass.
Were you able to watch any of your sister's fight before when you were warming up back there? And how impressed were you with her performance?
So unfortunately, I wasn't there cage side, but on the car ride over, I was able to pull up the fight with my brother as we were heading to the stadium. I saw her fight in real time, and I couldn't be more proud of her performance. She went in there, she stayed composed, she stuck to her game plan, and she put on a beautiful performance, taking out a girl who was undefeated, 5-0. And, if she was ranked in one championship, she would be among the top of the division. So for me, Victoria Lee she's ready to go straight to the top. As unfortunately right now, Angela is, sitting there holding the belt, but I believe Victoria is next in line, and she's just waiting for her shot. As soon as Angela moves on, she's going to be next in line.
Next question will go to Leon Jennings of Asian Persuasion MMA.
Hey, Christian, again, I completely agree with you. I thought you won the fight pretty clearly. You seem to gas a little bit more than we're used to seeing from you. Was there any reason you could put behind that?
Well, the thing is, as fighters, we want to have our best fight. We want to have our best performance every single time. Unfortunately, tonight wasn't my best performance. On a normal night, I would go in there and finish Ok Rae Yoon in the first round. However, even on my worst night, I still went in there and dominated him over 5 rounds. And, like I've said before, I won the fight in every single area of one's judging criteria. And this decision is not going to sit well with me.
Were you impressed with his takedown defense? Because I agree with you, you dominated pretty much every aspect, but his takedown defense was very impressive.
Absolutely. Ok was well trained for this fight. He was prepared for everything I threw at him, and I was prepared for everything he threw at him. And that's why it was such a competitive fight. And that's why it was hopefully exciting for the fans. The only thing right now is I'm very upset with the very unprofessional, misinformed, uneducated judges that were there tonight.
I think most people agree that they thought you won the fight as they did. I think most people thought Denise Zamboanga won her fight a couple of weeks ago. Is there an issue with the judging in whole, do you think? Not just tonight? I mean, what are your thoughts on judging in one as a whole?
Well, the thing is, One Championship is a great organization, but, we've seen many bad calls in many fights. But with this one in particular, I was not simply holding him against the cage for 5 rounds. I was not simply sticking and moving for 5 rounds. I took him down. Came close to finishing him, and I also outstruck him on the feet. So, I literally ticked off every single one of One Championship scoring criteria, every single one of their boxes. And, I don't know what else to say.
Our next question will go to Jay Anderson of Cage Side Press.
Man, Christian, appreciate you coming out. I know it's not easy after a fight like that. Somebody mentioned the Denise fight a moment ago, and obviously that was appealed as well, and the decision was upheld. How confident are you that the result of this fight will be overturned?
Well, I'm confident that as a strong and upstanding organization, One Championship is going to do what's right. For me, I'm not one to complain if the fight goes to the judges, but I'm the champion, and I won every single one of One Championship scoring criteria. Getting closest, getting a finish. You put the two of us side by side, you look at our face and see who did more damage. I mean, I'm just very upset with the fact that there was no premises for how this fight was scored. And, this is our lives on the line. I'm not just fighting for fun. I'm fighting for my family. I'm fighting for my baby's future. So this isn't something I'm just going to take lightly. I'm not going to let this poor decision affect my career. And I'm confident that One Championship is going to do what's right.
Thank you, Jay. Our next question goes to Dylan Bowker of My MMA News.
I'm just curious because you'd made a comment earlier, and perhaps I misconstrued it to a degree, but you'd made a comment saying that you should have gotten the decision here even on your worst night. Were there some behind the scenes factors leading into this one that maybe informed the performance?
No, for me, I prepared as best as I could for this fight. I felt like I was in the best shape of my life. And, my body was able to go 5 rounds and push the pace hard. It just, it's something as a fighter, you just can't really control. That's why we train so hard in the gym to prepare for, being the best guy in the world on our worst day. And I feel like that's what I did here tonight.
And just as a quick follow-up, I imagine this is, obviously fairly disappointing for you, but is there any solace in just, the card overall, seeing your younger sister get the victory there?
Yeah, I think that it was a great fight card, and I'm extremely proud of my sister's performance tonight. She did an amazing job taking out a undefeated prospect, and I couldn't be more happy for her.
Next question will go to Kyle Siegel of Going Live Podcast.
Hey Christian, sorry to hear about the decision. We all know you won that. All I could tell you, please don't look at the comments. The reason we love you is you're so humble and you're not like arguing or you're not yelling at the media or refs, as we see at more MMA organizations. I guess, what did you think, the score should have been when the judges announced it? I know I was watching, I was like, yep, easy, unanimous decision, Christian, but what were your honest thoughts saying what the score should have been versus you?
My honest thoughts was,
Yep.
All 3 judges unanimous decision in my favor. That's absolutely what I believed. I had my hand up because I was confident that was going to be the decision. You look at the 2 of us there. Oka's very tough. He put on a great show, but he had his head down. He knew that he lost that fight. I knew that I won that fight. And, it's just simple. The fight was not judged correctly.
No, I couldn't agree more. Thankfully, one seems to have less judging, problems than other companies, which I guess is, the plus side. I know it's hard for you to realize that, but I guess, are you open to an immediate rematch though? If that's what you have to do to get your belt back and, show that, like you said, you are the champ.
I'm absolutely open to doing an immediate rematch. However, I just want to make it clear, to everyone across the world that this fight should not count as a loss on my record and the fight should be overturned because I absolutely believe that I won this fight and that I'm still a champion.
This next question will be from Tudor Leonte of Sherdog. Tudor, please go ahead.
Would you agree in saying that it was your toughest challenge so far?
I would say that Ok Rae Yoon was definitely one of the toughest opponents I faced so far. He was very prepared for what I had to bring to him. But on the other note, I was very prepared for what he brought to me. And, we had a 5-round war. We put on a great show for the fans. And, going back to what I've been saying and what I'm going to continue to say is that although it was a very great fight, I absolutely won the fight in every single area of the scoring criteria. And I'm not going to rest until the fight is overturned and the right decision is made.
How much did you respect his power before really starting to engage with him?
I had respect for Oak's power, and I had respect for his timing. He trained extremely hard for this fight, and I could tell when we were in there. He moved very well. But, when we were trading, I blocked almost all of his strikes, and I outstruck him, as you can see in the damage on both of our faces. So he was very good in there, but I was better.
This one's from Ivan Stewart of Dugout Philippines. And the question is this. Although you were impressive against Rae Yoon, what was one thing lacking in your performance that could have been factored into the bout?
For me right now, I'm going to be the hardest critic on myself. I know that this was not the best I could have performed. I'm going to just leave it at that. I absolutely believe that I did everything necessary to win this fight, and I believe the decision should be overturned.